Hello and welcome to Double Done Gaming here on the Double Done Gaming podcast show, of course, with myself, Dermatron, Double Done Gaming host, and with me, my co-host, my channel partner, my gaming enthusiasm partner, is Colin. How are you, Colin, tonight, sir?
I'm good. I'm
nickname
good.
Nickname for you, actually.
You got a nickname for me? Oh God!
I have to
There
think
you
of
go.
one.
Oh, you have to think of one.
Columtron.
Columtron. No, the Transformers thing's your thing, mate. It's fine. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm eager and ready. Let's get talking about some games.
Yeah, and of course, down below, we're very over the moon to welcome two really great gaming podcasters themselves. We've got Pete from the Play Pouch and his partner Tequila, also from the Play Pouch. So, guys, Pete, how are you? And welcome to the channel.
Thanks for inviting me on, guys. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
And also we've got Tequila, your co-host Tequila. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right, Domo. Just finished my Frosties and now they're great, ready to go.
Yeah, you sound like Tony the Tiger. They're great.
Exactly.
This is a gaming channel, not a they're great channel. Maybe this channel is great, but who knows? Now, what we're going to talk about, you're asking. I know. Now, I hate hosting these podcasts. It should be Colin doing this because he's better at it than me. He's shaking his head thinking.
No, I hosted last week.
Yeah, I know. He did very well. Where are we going? Oh, yeah, here we go. Right. What we're going to talk about a little bit, we're going to talk about Activision and Blizzard, about the takeover, and is it good or bad for gaming? We've got Call of Duty, Xbox versus PlayStation, or should it just be kept on one console? Games on Game Pass. Now, this is the Xbox Game Pass, or the PlayStation Plus as well. What games would we like? And also down to you guys. What games would you like to see brought onto each of their Game Passes? We've got what games would you bring back on PlayStation and Xbox? And this is Columns. This is the last one. Should microtransactions be banned?
Oh God, Cole. That's an hour. That's an hour by itself of ranting, at least by me.
Yeah.
I like controversy. I like covering the hard topics.
Controversial one. Start.
You can if you want.
Shall we start with this one? Might as well, because it seemed to have got the biggest outrage from Tequila and Pete as well. Guys, I'll start with you down the bottom. I'll start with you, Pete. Should microtransactions be banned and why?
No, I absolutely love them. No, I'm really joking. I don't mind them. It depends how they're used. I mean, if it's something like Ubisoft does on Assassin's Creed games where you pay for experience, etc., I think that's very shitty. But if it's
skip the game, Pete. So pay to skip the game, Pete.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, right. You buy resources for crying out loud. But if it's done in a different way, like I don't know, Warframe, dare I say, or other games, then I don't mind. But I don't know. For me, it's kind of like yes and no, really. So
yeah, I get that. The key look and Colin as well. Has it got out of hand? Has this now become too easy for young teenagers just to borrow their mum and dad's credit card or their bank card and just run up a huge bill on it? I mean, should there be more safety put in for younger players to protect them instead of racking up huge bills?
You want this, Colin? Or do you want me?
Go on, Tequila. I'll let you have a
Yeah, I mean, the microtransaction has kind of changed throughout the years. I'm sure you guys know what loot boxes are or were, and I do use the term "were" because they're more or less, thanks to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I don't know if any of you guys remember all the palaver that caused, but that was the big turning. That was the big turning point for the loot box. So the loot box itself has kind of died, and with it, these random chance things, which is why so many of these random chance things has been classified as gambling, and it's still prevalent in some mainly sports titles like the FIFA games that we all play there, and the Ultimate Team, if you do that stuff. The microtransactions themselves I don't think are that bad, but the ones that don't tell you what you're getting, which was the epitome of the loot box, That's where the nasty stuff really happens. There's still issues with battle passes and DLC passes where they want you to spend 20 quid. You've already spent 50 quid already on the game and they want another 20 off you. And the problem is that they don't tell you what you're actually getting with these passes. You're getting 2 or 3 DLCs and they don't go into them. So you don't really know what you're getting. So that's what I hate. I hate the loot box stuff where it's random chances. And I hate the stuff where they do not give you accurate information. But if you see a skin you like on a game and you want to throw them 2 quid or 5 quid, but you know exactly what you're getting for your money, then I got that. That's not that big a grievance to me.
Colin, where are you on it? Look, for me, I think it's I don't use microtransactions really, so it doesn't really bother me in my gaming experience. I don't use it that much. Like the F1 games with the pit coins and all this, I don't really normally go in and buy the stuff. Even on FIFA, I don't. So it really doesn't bother me. But for a gamer like you that does use it, should there be better? Should it be sorted out better than what it is? Does it have to be taken apart and rescheduled again or put together again to make it safe for younger players to use it instead of running up massive bills on credit cards and bank cards?
I am very, very big against microtransactions. I do not like them at all, whether it's FIFA, where you don't know what you're getting, whether it's, Resident Evil, where you're paying 99p for a pistol or whatever it is. Do not like it at all. I don't think there should be a thing, because there has been too many incidents now where people, there's been loads on a certain game of Roblox, for instance, where people have been running up massive credit card bills and, it's been their child that's doing it. They'll never get rid of them. This is the issue. They'll never get rid of them. So they need to put something in place. But I want them to be banned because, I'm going back. I'm going back in the days, PlayStation 1 days, where you pay for something. So you pay for a game, for instance. I'm just going to use Final Fantasy, for instance. You pay for a Final Fantasy game and you get 4 discs in your case, and that'd be it. You get the whole thing. Everything that's in the game is there.
Yeah.
You pay one price for it. Whereas now, I've played, I'm wearing a Destiny hoodie today. You play stuff like that, and then you get to a certain point and it's like, well, you're now locked behind a paywall. You got to do this, this, and this to get better gear, to progress better and better and better. So it's forcing us down a tunnel, in my personal opinion anyway. It's forcing us down the tunnel if you have to pay to progress. EA Sports is the worst for it, in my eyes.
The sports games generally are. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Sports games.
Yeah. But for instance, obviously I play WWE as well. And I do a lot of creative character stuff. I've got my own universe mode and all that. But if certain people want certain outfits, I have to then go and buy those outfits with real money. And I don't understand how they can get away with charging as much as they do as well, because it's not like a quid or 2. You're sometimes paying £8, £9, £10.
Is that for one outfit?
Outfit? Well, that's for what you get is you get the outfit and the character, but it's literally just one.
That's ridiculous.
You don't get a bunch; you just get one.
Yeah, it's way too much for what you get. Yeah.
See, I can remember Hitman when they bought the new Hitman game out. That they bought the main game out, and you bought the main game, say, off Xbox Live or you bought it in GameStop, which don't exist over here now. We've only got CEX, but you had to buy the next game. There was an extra price. You were buying for every act in that game. So, Pete, my question to you is: do you agree with Colin? Should it be banned? And do gaming companies or publisher of games, is it get to the point where they just don't care? As long as they get the money, that's all they care about.
Well, I think in an ideal world, yes, they should be banned. And I definitely miss the days when we had, complete games. You didn't have to worry about sort of paying an extra 20. It's like, I already give you $50. Just, that's it, man. I want my game. I don't want anything else, as you said, Colm, locked behind the paywall and stuff. And yeah, if they're not going to ban it, because they're not, because they make so much money, and their attitude these days is "fuck you, give me money," right? So I think they have to put a system in place. I don't know what that system is. You can sort of have an age limit, yeah, but there's always ways of getting around it. So I don't know. Maybe there should be a separate internet for kids and teenagers, and another internet for adults, and just find some way of making that a staple.
Like YouTube Kids, then, Pete.
Yeah, I've always said that the internet needs to become an app-based system rather than a sort of a World Wide Web thing. I think they need to shut that down.
I actually agree with you on that. I think it should be. I actually do agree with you on that. So, look, I'm sure this is a conversation we're going to come back to again and again.
It definitely will be. I mean, I've already got an idea for another one. I'll bring it up very quick because I just want to get a quick little view, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
So, I'm a massive fan. Honestly, it's the first game I've ever played. I'm a massive fan of Final Fantasy. I will play it. I will play it until I played every single one of them on console, on handheld. You name it, I've played it. Now there seems to
play the MMOs as well, Colin.
Yes, I did.
Well, both of them.
Yes,
I played even 11 when it came out.
Even 11.
Okay.
I played every Final Fantasy because I just love the game. It's the first game. Me and Dermo spoke about it last week a little bit. But what's really annoyed me is, like I said, I might use this as a podcast for a future. What's really annoyed me is obviously the Final Fantasy VII remake. They've split it into 2 games.
It's going to be free, Con.
Oh, what a great, fantastic 3 games!
Another one.
I missed that memo. So I paid £60 for the first version for the first part.
It's going to be £200 overall. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Well, that's ruined my day. Screw you, Square Enix.
Did you not know there was a third game? Oh, bless Con. Sorry, mate.
No, I'm a little bit behind on it, to be honest with you.
We do apologise for Tequila making Colin wanting to go off air and just shout in the middle of the street. Damn you! I'm going to Square Enix with a gunblade, and I'm going ham. I've decided. If anyone is watching this on YouTube, he didn't mean it. He's not going to do it. He's only venting his gaming anger at Square Enix. He isn't actually going to do it.
Yeah, he's only playing.
Yeah. Till we see him tomorrow night on Sky News. This man is...
Man attacks Square Enix with a gunblade.
Yeah, he originated from Doncaster.
I'm currently going through Rebirth. I have to play through these mini games. It's driving me insane.
I thought you said you're apparently going through rehab. That's what I thought you were going to say.
The game's going to send me to rehab. It is.
Blitzball sent me to rehab. Jesus.
Oh, I love Blitzball.
And don't open the Final Fantasy VII wormhole because there's a lot that me and Nick have to say on that. So
I tell you what, we are going to do a podcast on games, and so that will come out. Now, guys, talking about games and talking about Xbox and play Xbox in general. Now, I'm a massive Xbox player. Love Xbox. I've always have loved Xbox. Though I've sometimes went over to the dark side, went over to PlayStation. I feel like I've cheated on my partner by going over to a different console, but I've always come back to Xbox in a long way. But I was so excited when Xbox announced there last year they were buying Activision and Blizzard, because of the Transformer games that have been on Activision and also the James Bond games that they made as well. And I was so excited about getting remakes and that coming onto Game Pass, playing War for Cybertron, playing the original Transformer games that were brought out on PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. But mostly because of War and For the Cybertron, the 2 best Transformer games ever made.
They were good, yeah, definitely.
But the longer it's gone on and the longer it's dragged on, I'm getting a little bit impatient now with Xbox and Activision and Blizzard. Colin, I'll start with you and then we'll go around the houses. As a gamer, and there's probably games in the Activision and Blizzard family that you want to see on Game Pass, do you feel that they've taken the community, the piss out the community a little bit?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, yeah, of course they have. I mean, I play a lot of different games, from Activision Blizzard. I play a bit of Call of Duty. My current hype, well, I'll say current, I've not really touched it for that long now, but the current hype was Diablo 4, because I'm a massive fan of that, which I had to wait God knows how many years for. Thank you, Blizzard. And it's not even that good either.
A bit repetitive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very repetitive. Once you get to max level, you're like, oh, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's a difficult one because they do they have the capability of making great games. Activision and Blizzard both have the qualities to do that. They just don't. They remind me of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at the Call of Duty games that they've got now on both platforms now. Pete, I mean, where are you with this? Was it a good transaction or a bad transaction for the gaming community? This,
I think it was a knee-jerk transaction. I think that they were so worried that Sony were going to buy the rights that they just threw every available dollar they had at it. I say dollar, I mean pound. But I don't like the Call of Duty games. I don't like death matches. I don't like online PvP stuff. It winds me up. It just makes me angry and stuff like that. So I mean, like, fair play to people who do like it, but I'm 45, man. My days with doing all that kind of thing is done. And so yeah, I mean, I played some Diablo. I got to level 45 and stuff, and I've already just felt the repetitive burn coming in already, and there needs to be something else. I mean, like, as you said, Colm, they are very capable of making good games. It's just the suits at the top. Mm-hmm. It's the corporate commanders that are just, they're pushing out the thing that just makes the most money, and that at the moment is online multiplayer, and all the talent's gone. I've been saying this on our podcast. All the talent has gone, and we need it back. So hopefully it will. Hopefully it will come back. I don't know.
Hopefully it will. I mean, look, Tequila, do you think they're too slow in bringing certain games back onto Game Pass? That they should have been there a lot sooner than they are, because we seem to be waiting for a lot of games that they do have IP addresses for, that they do have ways of getting them on there very quickly. But they're just taking their time. And do you feel that they're messing the fans around for certain games that they want to see on Game Pass, that they can't get anymore because of Activision's either take them off the Xbox Play Store or PlayStation Play Store or the Xbox Play Store, or they just, do you know what I mean? Should they be quicker in bringing them onto Game Pass for fans?
Well, let me answer the original question first, and then I'll get to that stuff. I'm a little bit like Pete, is that I'm not massive with the PvP stuff. So I've never been really a fan of the Call of Duties. But when it comes to answer that question is why they've gone and purchased it. They felt they need some big hitters, because basically their own Microsoft Studio games, and they went on a big splurge of buying up a whole bunch of smaller company to make games for them, because basically they've been getting their ass kicked by Sony in the exclusive games for so many years now. They became desperate, so then they bought Bethesda, and then that cost them quite a lot, not as much as Activision, but then they bought Activision to try and get these big games in there. And actually, we did a show, me and Pete, not long ago, almost all about that, and about how their decision of buying that, they've ended up starting to close these small studios. It was just in the last week or so, they've just announced that they're closing all these small studios. Yeah. And one of the big things is to pay. Is to pay for them buying Activision Blizzard. And some of the studios they've cancelled have actually made good games in the past. So they're not bad studios. So it's caused a whole massive a domino effect, which is going to end up with probably more firings and studios being cancelled. To answer your second question, Have they been too slow? Well, the only game they've put on Game Pass so far from the Activision stuff is Diablo 4, as Pete said, which they seem to think is going to make a massive difference. Now, Game Pass has slowed to about 34 million, which sounds a lot to you and me, but not to Microsoft. They want 100 million by 2030. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So they're not going to rush because I don't think they have the portfolio. Even just one more thing, that the Call of Duty games, Carl, they don't know if they're going to now, even though they own Activision, they have not decided as of yet if they're going to put it on Game Pass or not, because they're going to miss out on so many physical sales of that game. They don't know financially if it's worth it, and if they don't, it's going to piss a lot of Game Pass users off. Because
surely they can put the old ones on. I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
I was about to say the old ones, but going forward, the new ones don't. I'm not sure they're coming on Game Pass. They haven't decided yet.
No, I mean, when this was announced and everything, the big pull and the big thing that was putting out there was, Call of Duty will be on the Game Pass, so you can play Call of Duty games. I'm not a big Call of Duty fan. I don't really play a lot of first-person PvP shooters myself, to be honest with you. But I was a little bit intrigued, like, oh, okay, so I can go back to like World at War, which was a fairly decent game, and just relive some of my childhood when I played that and stuff. I'm still waiting now.
And what if they never do, Colm?
Exactly. So basically, just like
you cancel Game Pass if they turn around and say all of Call of Duty, old and any new ones, none of them are coming on Game Pass, so you have to buy them separately.
I mean, me personally, I wouldn't cancel them because I don't really play them anyway. There's other games on there that I would rather play.
I mean, I'm a massive Transformers game fan. Always have been, always will be. I love the original. I played the original Transformer game back on the PlayStation 2, the first Transformer game, and then I've played every one that's come out. Some are good than others, to be fair. The Dark Spark was a heap of shite. I will grant you that. But Fallen War, Cybertron were the best out of the lot. But I was expecting them even to be put on because they do have the IP addresses for them. It's not lost and everything. And with new Transformer films that are coming out, and Hasbro even saying to Activision and Xbox, we want these on your Game Pass now. They could have done it. I mean, there's surely. I mean, what do you guys feel that? Look, I know Transformers is. I love the games, but what's your feel on that? Could they have even put them games on Game Pass? It wouldn't have been so hard to do that.
No, but they would turn around and say, "Oh, well, there's a lot of effort that needs to go into sort of porting it to the console and stuff." But like, if you're that big of a company, surely you can dedicate a small crew to doing that. I mean, I assume they still have a crew. I mean, they did a few years back. They did state that for like old like Xbox originals, whatever, that there was a crew. I mean, like, I don't know whether they've disbanded them now or not, but
I don't know.
Surely, yeah. You'd have thought they would.
You think they would? I mean, Tequila, Colin, where are you on this? I mean, I know it's not your favorite game, Colin, I know, but they did bring back Fall of Cybertron onto the PS4 and the Xbox One system when it first came out, so they do have that on the IP addresses. So they've already ported it over to a newer console or the last gen.
I mean,
so
there's a lot of games, Dermo, which from that era that I wish not only would they port over, but they'd update. I mean, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I'd give anything right now because I really want to play it right now, mainly because of that Skull and Bones game, which kind of got its hooks into me a little bit. I don't want to play that. I want to play Black Flag, but I want to play an updated version where it runs at 60 frames per second. And I don't mind that it doesn't look amazing, but I want to experience it with a better system. The only way I can do that is by getting myself a PC. Really, there isn't really an option for that on a console. So, I mean, and there's a talk about games preservation as well. Not less so on the Xbox side and more on the PlayStation side, where it's like, can you even guarantee that your games that are digital, can you even guarantee that in a couple of years you're going to be able to play them? So
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have the digital copies there, mate? Oh,
No,
do you
I
have
have.
them, or do you have the physical copies?
I have the digital copies. Well, I have all the Cybertron on my Xbox account, so I've got the original.
So you're totally reliant on it being available. Yeah. So it's another reason really to buy physical. I know that there's a big debate about, me and Pete have spoken about it as well, about physical and digital. I prefer to buy physical copies for that very reason, because at least you're going to be able to have them whenever you need them, and not reliant on always being online and always having that. So
yeah, I mean, where are you on this, Colin? Where's your sort of?
I mean, it's difficult for me because it's not a game that I've really played, to be honest with you. I mean, if they can put Power Wash Simulator on the Xbox Game Pass, then surely they can put, some of the Transformers games. I'm just looking at the Xbox Games Pass now. That's what I was doing. Whilst I was just listening to you, I'm just looking at ones they have put on, such as like Psychonauts and stuff like that. So you'd think they have the port for it to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And if they have, then why aren't they doing it? Because let's be honest, the Transformers, like the movies and the whole, the animation series and everything else, does have a bit of a cult following. It's a very liked thing. So why would they not try and profit on that?
Sorry, Pete, go on.
I was just going to say, I think it's a copyright issue, right? Because it's like if they don't have the rights to display that or use that or sell it and stuff, and there needs to be something that doesn't classify for the games market. I don't know, because if you have classic games that can't be used, I mean, look at GTA 5. They had to change their entire radio thing online just for the copyright thing. So
I'm just doing a bit of research. So I've got this here. This is from boundingintocomics.com. Much to the dismay of Transformers fans everywhere, Hasbro has officially confirmed that despite their interest in remastering the franchise Cybertron trilogy of video games, such a release is currently unlikely due to developer Activision having reportedly lost the title's original source codes.
But they haven't, because Hasbro came out 2 days later, 48 hours later, and said that was wrong information. They have still got Activision actually come out and said we have them. So if that came out, I think last year, so they do have them. Look, Activision hold the rights to Transformer games, like I think they still hold the rights to the James Bond games as well that they did put out.
James Bond GoldenEye is actually on the Game Pass.
Yeah, that's N64, and that's where I'm actually going to go. One quick question to you guys. N64, we all know it's a great console. It's the console of my childhood. I remember when it came out. I remember the NES coming out and how I loved Duck Hunt. That was my favorite. And Super Mario.
I remember Duck Hunt.
Do you know, there was young Irish Dermatron sitting in his house in Mullingar, bouncing a little fat Italian man, eating magic mushrooms, getting bigger, thinking, can I do that? And found out I couldn't. That was the start of my gaming thing. But the N64 GoldenEye, how much of a gaming classic is that? Is that the best James Bond game that was ever made?
I think so. I mean, it's certainly the one that sold the most, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone played that Chinese bloke because he was the easiest, wasn't he? He was the goat, as they say. Yeah. I never really played much of it personally, but I have a mate, Alan, who used to play it all the time. So yeah.
Tequila. What do you know? N64 GoldenEye. Is it the best James Bond game of all time?
N64 is one of my favorite consoles growing up. Although I didn't really play GoldenEye, although I bought it. So that's what you do when you're an idiot kid. You buy things and don't play them. But what I did do is I became very popular.
How could you not play it?
I just didn't.
Seriously?
But I bought. There's a kind of a good thing at the end is that I bought it and I became very popular during my brief stint at university because I had it and nobody else had it. And I had all the boys and girls wanting, coming around my place playing GoldenEye. I just didn't let them play it. But all of a sudden, I was the most popular I've ever been in my life for like those couple of nights, and I used that popularity for other things. That's all I'm saying about it. So thanks, Governor.
So what we've learned from that is, Colin, that Pete never played it much, but thinks it's a good game. Tequila bought it and used it for his own devices to get hooked up with girls and to get hooked into parties at university. Are you going to bring this back to any sanity?
Yeah. I am going to bring it back to sanity. Don't worry.
Yeah. Are you bringing it back? Is it the best game of all time?
I will undoubtedly tell you right now, and anybody that's watching, I have no idea because I've never played it.
Right, so that's two of us who've never played it. Pete, who's barely played it, and I think it's the best game ever made. Well done.
Well, I played bits of it.
Yeah, but at least Colin didn't use it to get girls in universities who prefer.
Hey, I didn't know it was gonna have that effect. It just happened to because they all wanted to play multiplayer. That was the first time that the whole multiplayer deathmatch stuff. Like I realised like the power it had, and I was
so basically, you're a Del Boy in disguise, is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You can imagine back in the day, Tequila at university. He's got his flat cap on. He's got his jacket on. He's got his rings. He's got his medallion. Yeah. Big T for his medallion.
Yeah.
Acting as Del Boy.
That was a good week. That's what I'm saying. It was a good week.
Capitalized on the opportunity.
He capitalized on it majorly. Look, for me, I think the Activision Blizzard thing is a bad thing for the gaming world. Personally, myself, I think if Sony was going to buy it, surely Sony and Microsoft could come together and say, well, look, we are the two biggest companies in the gaming world. Why can we not come together and share all the studios? That even the little studios, as you said, Pete, they can keep going. And the kid said as well that they can keep going. These are people that depend on. We depend on these little studios to come out with classic games. Some of them have come out with the best games over the years, and I just feel Xbox and Microsoft could do a lot more for the gaming community than that they do at the moment. I feel they take us for granted. I feel they take us for mugs, and I feel they have to do more. I don't know what you guys think on that before we move on.
I think within the past 5-10 years, the gaming industry has sort of become focused on solely one or two things, and that is sort of live gaming as a service, whatever that terminology is, because that makes them the most money. And when you have a huge corporate company that just focuses on making the most money, as opposed to producing a game that's engaging, immersive, and has a good story or a good gameplay loop, we're not seeing much of that anymore, and that's sad. It's just really sad. And I think this is we're at a point now where they have to sort of turn around and go back to how they were, otherwise they're just going to fail. Yeah.
Tequila, where are you on that?
Well, if you look at the last big, I suppose, fad in the gaming industry, it was the Battle Royale fad that came in, and that was immensely successful, especially with PUBG and especially now with Fortnite being the most successful, and all the other games that have tried to copy them. And the live service has kind of migrated from that. So it's not all about battle royals anymore, but battle royals were kind of where, I mean, death matches, I suppose, were at the start. Battle Royale was just kicked it up to a new level, like I say, especially with Fortnite and how that game has literally just dominated the casual games. That's a key word, the casual games market. Because even people who you'd never would expect to game, such as, with all due respect to mothers and everything with kids who generally you wouldn't think would do many games, they're going around talking about Fortnite and playing it all the time and acting like the rest of more hardcore gamers. So that was the latest binge thing, and the live service has kind of jumped off that. But there's been so many failures now, with a recent number of failures, such as Skull and Bones, such as Kill the Justice League, which was a massive failure.
That's a heap of shite, by the way.
And then we had Anthem a couple of years, and then we had Marvel's Avengers, literally probably the biggest license you could imagine, especially when it came out.
I've actually got a question coming up about that, actually.
Okay,
so
I'll leave that
actually, we can go on to it if you want, actually. So we can go on to that. This is the question. What is your thoughts on games like the Batman Arkham trilogy and the Avengers games, and of course the new one, the Justice League's games? You might as well kick off, Tequila, because you were talking about it.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, the Batman games from the same company who did the Kill the Justice League, which is Rocksteady. So they were single player games, and they were much beloved, very successful single player games.
Yeah.
And then they, like so many other companies, have just decided to dip their wick, to use lack of a better term, into the live service genre, which is nearly a death knell for nearly all of them, with one exception that's coming to mind, which is Helldivers 2, which is a PlayStation exclusive. So if you don't see that, you won't be seeing that on the Xbox. That's PC and PlayStation only. With that exception, they've all been failures and more or less all been dead within a year. And when I say dead, I mean their servers may still be on sometimes, but there's no new patches coming, no bug fixes, no new content at all. And they're lucky if they last a year. Avengers didn't last a year. No, Avengers lasted just over a year. Anthem's the one I'm thinking of. That didn't even, that was dead. Anthem, made by BioWare, which was once a big respected company. Anthem was dead within like 6 months, even though they promised to bring it back. And in the end, they just said, nah, won't bother. That's live service. And they all follow that suit, other than Helldivers 2 is the only one that I've seen that's actually been regarded as a decent game on launch going into it. Whether or not it stays that way with these kind of games, we'll have to see. That's it for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Colin or Pete. I mean, Colin, and then go to you. What's your thoughts on the event? I mean, the Avengers game I've played, I enjoyed it, though I thought there could have been a lot more done to it to make it a lot more better, in my opinion. I feel there could have. I mean, I used to love playing Ultimate Alliance back in the day. The first two, I think the third one went on to Switch, which I didn't like at all. So what's your thoughts on these games, superhero games in general? Do you feel it's just a money-making racket for companies just to make money? Because to tie in with a film, if there is a film coming out with it.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Tequila for making me relive my utter disappointment in Anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, me and Pete had to play the whole thing co-op. We were begging for it free, and Pete in particular absolutely despised the story.
I wanted that game to so well.
God help you.
What story? What story? Yeah.
I want the game to be so good. It looked like it was going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And
You remember that cutscene at the beginning where it was like all this big, huge war going on, and it was like, yeah, when are we going to get to do all that?
Yep.
No.
You don't get to do any of that stuff. They did that in Destiny, though. Batman games. I love the Batman Arkham stuff. Love it. I've played every single one of them. I will not be touching the new Batman game. Not a chance. Because
the
it is
VR
VR. Yeah. Will not be touching it.
Same here.
At all. As for the Avengers, I don't ever think I've picked up an Avengers game, to be honest with you. I'm a massive DC fan in real life, so I will not touch Marvel.
Yeah, DC.
I will not touch Marvel.
Yeah, but don't play Kill the Justice League. I know you guys are DC, but honestly, that looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah, honestly, right. I probably won't touch it. I stopped playing. I mean, I still dabble in the Batman trilogy, but I stopped kind of playing when they brought out the Justice League games because it's just a Tekken game. Let's be honest, that's all it is. But I mean, to answer your question, do I think it's just a money maker? Of course it is. Of course it's a money making method. All games are money making methods. That's why they sell them at stupid prices to us. But when you slap a well-known superhero such as Batman or Superman, some Marvel people like Captain America or Thor or whatever, it's going to sell because they've got two sides, the demographic. You got the DC fans that if they do play computer games, want to play those games, and the Marvel ones that want to play those games, or like I said, people who just like superheroes. Yeah. So yeah, of course, it's just a money-making method scheme. That's all it is.
Look, for me, the Arkham series is the best Batman series ever. I mean, I remember playing Arkham Asylum when that first came out and being blown over by the game itself. I think nothing can top that. Then they brought out Arkham City.
Well, I don't think, Dermo, I don't think you have played Batman on the Mega Drive.
Do you know what? I would love to play Batman on the Mega Drive.
It is one of the worst crafted games in the world, but I loved it. Every minute of it, it was amazing.
I mean, Pete. I mean, look, I love the Batman games. I love Arkham Knight. I've completed it more times than I can remember. I just love, and once I complete it, I do all the side missions, and then I wipe the game clean and I start again.
Oh wow!
I just love the game. I think it's the best one out of the three of them. I think it blows Arkham City out of the water and it blows Arkham Asylum out of the water. But right. I don't know if other people would agree with me on that. So where are you on the superhero games, and what do you want to see coming from DC and Marvel next?
Okay, so I don't mind these superhero games. I only really played the first Batman and Arkham Asylum. I absolutely adored Mark Hamill's rendition of the Joker, and I thought it was a good storyline. I thought the sequels to it were good storylines as well. Me as a gamer, I'm very cutthroat. So if I get even the slightest bit of boredom coming through, that's it. I'm done. And I felt the repetition in the Batman combat very quickly. So I don't hate them. I think they're really good for what they are. Never played the Avengers game. I don't think I want to. But I tell you what I really want to see as a game is Watchmen.
Do you know what? That's a very good shout, actually.
Yeah, I would love to, because I love the movie. The ultimate cut is just absolutely fantastic, where they cut in the cartoon with the film. I just thought that's the definitive superhero movie, and it says more than the Avengers movies could ever say in one film. And I've always felt like DC movies, I know it's not a DC thing, but I always felt like DC was a lot darker than Avengers, than Marvel. So yeah, I would like to see Watchmen.
That's a good shout, actually. Colin, what do you want to take the last subject? Because I feel I'm waffling, and I've been doing a lot of streaming today. So can you take over? Sorry.
You haven't done anything all day. What are you on about? You've been messaging me all day. Saying, have you played this game? Have you played this game?
No, I did
Before we move on from obviously the superhero thing, I don't know if everybody will have. How many people have played Gotham Knights?
I haven't.
No. I have. I've looked it up, and once I was going to play it with our mate Alan P, but once it came out and it wasn't shipping at 60 frames per second, I was like, screw you. It was as simple as that for me.
Tequila, you're a tough crowd to please.
I am really. I won't use that word for 60 frames per second. Yes, I am. Very obsessed.
He is a 60 frames guy. He needs his 60. Don't you,
you want to do a t-shirt, you put 60 frames. Tequila, I'm a 60 frames guy. That's what you do. Gotham
Knights for me? I played it for a while. I got very bored with it. It was nothing like the Arkham series at all. It was very different.
No.
Is this the one that doesn't have Batman in it?
Yes.
I think so.
Right. Okay.
It's on Game Pass, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it for like £10. That's how much of a flop it was.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Gotham. I've played it. I've played it. I have played a small amount of Gotham Knights, and it is the biggest heap of shit that has ever been put on anything to do with Batman.
Yeah,
and that's referring back to the Sega Mega Drive game. It's worse. I'd rather play that. And that didn't run at 60 frames per second either.
No. It It was an epic fail, honestly. That game was such an epic fail. I'm trying to remember who made it, because it was another one of these companies who should know better. They might have published it, but I'm trying to think who. I can't remember the company.
Not Montreal. Was it Montreal that made it? Were they the?
I might have to have a look now.
Maybe somebody in the comments can let us know, or put it in the comments on the stream underneath who done. Look, very quickly. Any new games you're looking forward to coming out, guys? In the next year, I know there's a new Transformers game coming out. Reactivate, which I'm so excited about it coming out. Can't wait for it. I think there's a new trailer coming out. The new games show next month, I think, in America somewhere. There's a new. So, Pete, any new games you're looking forward to coming out next year?
XCOM 3, baby.
I'm laughing because me and Pete we did a show a couple of weeks ago where we just said we're so bored right now of games and we can't find anything to play. I finally went back to Rebirth after not wanting to for months, and Pete, bless him, I don't even know what Pete's playing at the moment.
I'm playing Star Citizen actually,
okay.
But no, I am looking. I've got a fool's hope with XCOM 3. I am looking forward to the next Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
GTA 6, the next Witcher.
Yeah.
Witcher 4, not all the bullshit.
Do you think that will follow the TV series The Witcher? Because I enjoy the Witcher games. I do enjoy them. So do you think they might follow the TV series?
Nah, it's going to follow a novel, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few novels, and I doubt that the first trilogy used all the novels up. So I'm hoping that we get to play Ciri with that. Who knows? I mean, I was hoping to see her in Cyberpunk, but they didn't do that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Tequila, what are you looking forward to in the next year, game-wise?
Playing more mini games where I have to chase dogs. I played a mini game yesterday where I am a dog playing football. And playing more mini games in Rebirth. That's my current and probably 4-month future, considering how long it's going to take me. After that, there isn't that much for me. I'm pretty picky like Pete is. There really isn't. I'd say a lot of the same games he would. XCOM 3, you got no chance because the developers for Axis, the guy who did the XCOM 1 and 2,
don't destroy my dreams.
It's facts, mate. You have to live with it. No, XCOM 3. But yeah, I still like certain franchises, but either they've been destroyed by turning them into live service or those kind of thing, or they're just years away. I mean, I used to be a big Bethesda fan like Pete did, and I was Starfield that came out, and that was such a disappointment. It was just, most of the, and like the BioWare, who I mentioned earlier, the Mass Effect series I was a massive fan of. I think I'm probably the only one here who's played Andromeda and actually liked Andromeda and didn't hate it. I know Pete didn't like it. I don't know if you guys have ever played the Mass Effect series at all.
Yeah.
What did you think of them, Carl? Did you enjoy them?
I enjoyed all of them apart from Andromeda.
See, then I knew it. So there is on the horizon a Mass Effect, though it's probably like 5 years away because they've got to go ahead and make Dragon Age whenever that's coming out, because that's being made for so many years now. God knows the state of that game. So there is franchises that I know have games coming, but they're all quite a long way off. So the immediate future is there isn't that much, and it's probably going to end up being a Monster Hunter, which I think is early next year. So it's going to be
the development cycle for a lot of the games you mentioned should be slightly better because they're being developed on Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new technology that shortcuts a lot of the development. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Colin, anything for you? What are you looking forward to?
Yep. I'm going back to my roots of what I play a lot of. So June the 4th of this year, I'm going to be looking forward to playing Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
You know what kind of game that is, don't you?
Yeah,
You know what it is. It's like the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, I know. I hated that game, to be fair.
You played the Predator one.
Yes,
I
did.
Yeah.
I did. The only one that I do like, even remotely similar to that, is Dead by Daylight. I quite enjoy that every now and again.
Yeah, they've got some interesting villains to play as, don't they?
Yeah. Little Nightmares 3. I'm looking forward to that. I do like that. Silent Hill 2 remake,
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
Dawn remake. Looking forward to that. The Silent Hill Townfall. Looking forward to. So yeah, a lot of horror games, basically.
Cool.
For myself, of course, there's Reactivate, which I don't know going to be out this year or next year. F1 2024 is coming out at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to that. And also F1 Manager 2024, which is coming out, I think, in June next month. So I'm looking forward, June or July, I think.
Do they come out on the consoles then? The F1 Manager?
Yeah, they're coming out on console and PC as well.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. I love F1 Manager 22. I thought F1 Manager 23, they improved it. And I think F1 Manager 24, they've just improved it again. So they're doing better than the F1 games in general, who they've just totally killed them. EA, thank you very much. You've killed another franchise that I was enjoying. You seem to do a lot of killing franchises I enjoy. So thank you, EA.
They love doing that.
It's EA's speciality, that, man.
It is.
Yep.
This is sort of the last question on the podcast. So please do hit the like button and subscription button. Hit that notification bell for further shows coming up, guys, on the channel. There's going to be a lot of stuff from myself and Colin. Maybe the guys below be chipping as well. A few of their games on the channel as well. And we might even do a link up on both channels of one game where we face each other in some game and see who's the better gaming channel. Double Dumb or the Play Pouch. That should be interesting.
Oh, I'm at a disadvantage. I've got you on my team.
It's true. You're right.
I've got a disadvantage because you're on my team.
Hold on a minute.
I know.
You can barely play FIFA on like world class difficulty.
Yeah, just don't look. I told you not to say that in public. God.
Private info, man.
Private information.
I didn't sign the disclosure.
Demo's already recorded himself doing loads of FIFA, so you just wait for him to get a red card. It happens every match, and then
my FIFA's so great that I've been known to buy Paul Pogba and just get sent off in about.
Yeah, that was great.
Seconds.
That was watching you waste that money on him.
He did quite well for me, though. He did win me a league and FA Cup and the European Cup, so he did quite well for me.
Yeah, right.
I did play as I was Ireland manager and lost. I was 4-0 up against England and still lost 6-4.
Realistic, at least, then.
So we're not playing FIFA or any sports games, guys. We'll play something else.
No, Formula 1 F1 I'm very good at.
I haven't played
we'll play Smash Bros.
Many years.
Yeah, I'm good at that as well. Now, guys, a little bit of fun, and it can be any game from any era. What game, and I'll start with you, Pete, in this. What game would you bring back on PlayStation or Xbox? Any era, any game. You pick one game, which would you bring back?
Well, I had 3 in mind, so but I'll pick one.
No, do the 3. What's your 3?
Okay, so there was a little lovely game on the Sega Mega Drive called Flashback.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think that was my first love for sci-fi games. I'm very much a big fan of sci-fi games, and I loved the story in that. So I'd love to see like an open world version of that come back. There was a game on, I'm not sure whether it was the original PlayStation or PlayStation 2. I think it was a very little known game. It's called Summoner, and this was an RPG game. It wasn't open world; it was linear, but it was so good.
Is it a RPG, Pete?
No, hell no. Yeah. So, and the last one is I want BioShock back, but in the original world. I don't want a new setting. I want more of the original world. So yeah, those are my 3, man.
That's very good. Tequila, what would you bring back?
Oh, I'm only going to do one. There's lots of good games, but I want WWE No Mercy on the N64 recreated on today's consoles. Not how AEW, which is they try to emulate it because I think they did a shit job because it's rubbish. But that's what I want because I don't play wrestling games really anymore because I generally think they're all a bit too fast. But that was the perfect blend, I think, of arcade and fun. And that was an N64 game, and that was on Nintendo 64. No Mercy WWE. From Aki, I believe the developers were. AKI, Aki.
Colin, where are you going with it, man?
Like I said, like Tequila just said there's loads, but there's two that I would like. One from my childhood, and well, both from my childhood technically, but one that I've got good memories with because I remember playing it with my mother when I was younger, and that one is Croc Legends of the Gobbos platformer game.
The classic game.
Yeah, classic game. I would love it because I remember just playing it with my mum on PlayStation. Just sat there when I was a little nipper. And the other one that I really want a remake of. Is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Thought you were going to say Let's Just Eat Larry then, Con.
God no. I want Conker's Bad Fur Day remastered in all its glory.
That'd be fun.
For me, I'd love to remake Nightfire. The James Bond game that I played on the PS2. For me, that was a great game. That was the best James Bond game on the PS2. But that's look. I should have started with this question. This shows how tick I am today. This shows how bad I am a host in this show. I've been really bad. I never actually asked Pete and Tequila, Colin, their gaming, how did they get into gaming? What was their first consoles?
You're sacked.
Yeah, I am sacked. So I'll just take myself out. Look, I'll just...
I got started with a lovely little game called Sonic on the Sega Game Gear.
Oh yeah.
My dad bought me that for my birthday, and I just absolutely fell in love with Sonic. Brilliant. That was my first.
Are you a Mario? So I take it you're a massive Sonic fan then, more than Mario.
I'm not really a fan of either. I liked the remake of that Mario game that came out last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
I thought that was really sweet. The Sonic games of late have been pants, haven't they? Let's face it. So, we have to sort of go back to the originals. Loved the first one. Yeah.
It was good. Tequila, what was your first console you ever played?
Right, so I'm probably going to shock most people. I know I'm not the oldest one here, but it sounds like that I might have played the oldest system. So I must have been single figures. I'm going to say 7 or 8. ZX Spectrum.
Damn.
Where you have to load via cassettes. Cassettes, not even cartridges, cassettes.
I had that on the N60 on the Commodore 16.
Commodore 64, yeah, that was around about that era. The game was called Jumping Jack. Simple as this. There was black lines going across the screen. It can be found on YouTube. I might send you guys a link just so you can see how bad we're talking about here. Little black lines going across the white background, and little stick man, and it was a stick man. You just jump up when there's a little gap, and that was the whole game. You had to get to the top of the screen by jumping up. So this is pre like Donkey Kong and stuff like that. Like I say, we're talking. I'm going to say 88 maybe. We're going that far back, so I'm still pretty damn young.
I remember playing the Commodore. I remember playing cassettes in 86, 85, 86.
What did you play though, mate? Because that must have been
Commodore
your first
16.
games.
I remember playing tennis on Commodore 16, which was 2 lines.
Was it like Pong?
Yeah, it was really simple. And Pac-Man and Space Invaders.
Yeah, they're all in the arcade. They were all in the arcade, but the first.
We used to go into a pub in Ireland. In Mullingar, where we used to live, and there used to be a table there, and it used to be a game. It used to be Pac-Man or Space Invaders, and you put a pound in or pontoon, whatever it was back then, and you used to spend hours just playing this game. It's unreal. That for me, I love Space Invaders.
The arcade. Unfortunately, those arcade systems are more or less all dead now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
We just had one open up, actually.
Really?
Where I live, we've just had an arcade open up.
And they got proper arcade machines, not just...
We've got the original arcade machines in there.
Nice.
Do you know what? There's something you can do with the channel.
Go on.
Games.
Go down to the gaming arcade and do a blog for us.
I don't think there's any near us. Well, there's none near me.
None near me that I know of.
Yeah. I noticed Colin got all excited when I said do a blog. The fear of lightning came on.
He's already there, man. His mind's already there. So
I'm gone. Into it. Hold on, let me take my camera. Let's go.
No, he's not. He's actually an AI that's watching us at the moment. This is the AI version of Colin.
He's Chadley.
He is. His name's Chuck.
Chuck?
Yeah, Chuck.
Our old name's Chuck.
You look like a Chuck.
It's like me calling you Doris.
Oh, well. Ange doesn't like me at the moment anyway, but that's a different subject completely. Yeah, Colin, what's coming up on the channel, man?
More games, more gaming, lots and lots more gaming. I am going to be doing a Resident Evil playthrough.
Which one?
I'm trying to get hold of as many as I can because I'm planning on doing a marathon. So from the very first one all the way through. I might skip 6.
Yeah.
Are you doing all the titles or just the main ones?
No, every one of them.
Like you can do
Code Veronica, Revelations, everything.
Damn.
But I need some time to get all them sorted. But yeah, I'm hoping.
You playing them on a PC, Com? Or
Yes, PC. Yeah, PC.
Easier to record, isn't it?
Yeah, so much easier. And you will be seeing Dermo scream and cower in fear because we will be playing Dead by Daylight because I know Dermo hates horror games.
I do.
So it's happening.
It is happening. We do also have an F1 championship happening between myself and Colin. The Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost of the gaming world. I will be shoving you off the track on my first chance.
You're not going to be near me.
Com, can you do me a favour? When you play Dead by Daylight, can you play as Sadako for me?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Against Dermo.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you.
I don't know what that means, but if it's
that's
not
fine. That's even better. If you don't know who that is, that's even better.
We've got a lot of VA stuff. We've got the Formula One. We've got the football. I'm going to do an F1 management series, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it with Colin. That we're against each other in the race. So that's the sort of an idea we're going to do. So we're going to pick a team, build the team up, but we're going to split the team in two when it comes to. I'm going to pick one side of the team. Colin will pick another. And we're going to sort of race against each other in the same team. And
my side will be the one that stays on the track.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's the fighting talk.
Oh.
I learned just to ignore Colin quite a lot. Just transform and roll out of here. On that bombshell, Colin, do you want to say anything else before I've totally ruined our channel, before it's even started?
No, I just want to thank the guys for coming on.
Yeah.
Obviously, fantastic to have you on. Very knowledgeable as well. Make sure to go to that link. It is their gaming channel. Guys, feel free to plug what you guys got coming up over there.
Well, we do have a Final Fantasy VII review coming. I don't know when, but it is coming. We are thinking of doing some gameplay stuff. We're just trying to sort of decide and work out the logistics for all that. Yeah. Just basically more chat. We try to go in depth and analyze things and see if we can come with some fixes for the companies to listen to if they do.
It also depends on how much news there is around. If there's been something that we think is quite important, we'll dedicate it to a news show. Otherwise, sometimes we'll pick a certain game, an older game that we'll go in depth and try and review as well. So it does kind of depend on how busy it is. If we can find some good news that's happened, then we'll do that. If not, then we'll pick a topic and try and go in hard. Yeah, that's right. On it.
Yeah.
So.
It is a fantastic channel, though. I really love watching it. I love what the guys do over there. So please do go over there.
Thank you, man.
Get over there and hit the like and subscription. Get them to, I think it's 100 you're looking to get up to.
We've been going for 8 months. So if we get to 100, I think by in a year, I think for us that would be great.
We loved staying on 69, but yeah,
we're on the best number for a good 2 months. Then.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it'd be awesome if you guys.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's quite favourable with myself. But anyway, that's another show. But yeah, please do get over there. Please do get over to the guys and do hit a like and subscribe, but do here also as well. When are we on next, Colin? When's our next show?
Oh God, that's a good question. Saturday.
Saturday. What are we doing Saturday?
I told you. I'll tell you later.
Okay. Thank God Colin's doing the next podcast because this has really fried my brain.
But you're gonna hate the next one.
Oh, for God's sake.
You'll be fine, guys.
I don't know. Colin likes coming up with little extra surprises now and again. But listen, do hit the like on and subscribe on the guy's channel below. That we will put the link into the description as well. Pete, Tequila, thank you so much. Colin,
You're
as
welcome.
always, it's a pleasure. And thank you lot for watching us. But do enjoy your gaming. It is the
Thank you, guys. It's been emotional.
Yeah, it has been emotional. I
And
think Colin's made me
I'm
want to
sorry, mate, about letting you know about that third game. If it makes it any better,
Yeah.
it's probably 4 or 5 years away, which you'll need to finish Rebirth because it's that long a game. So.
Well, yeah, that's very, very true.
But which is the outro in here, Colin?
It's the same as the intro, mate. You want me to do it?
Yeah,
amateurs.
Amateurs. I'm in spotlight. I was actually going to do this for some reason.
Welcome to my party.
No, none of that.
That's not the right one.
That's not the right one. Anyway, thank you all. Bye.